on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
And by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Man, oh man, do I love the Gashouse Gang. You know why, Chris Ranji?
Tell me.
Because it's an hour where you and I can just kick back and talk sports, and everybody gets to listen in and participate if they want. They can go online and do it. They can listen later if they want. You know, it's just a great hour. I just enjoy this so much. And when we start lining up people like Jerry Palm and Dale Schilly in the mix with all this baseball talk, it just makes me happy, especially on a gloomy day like today. I just love sports talk. How you doing, buddy?
Great, man. And March is such a great sports month because you'll have actual regular season baseball that counts at the end of the month. You've got the NCAA tournament, which begins about a week prior to that. You've got Arch Madness, which starts tomorrow. There's so much going on right now. And you've got the end of the Billiken season tonight. They are trying to clinch that top seed, and with a win, they're going to win the conference. So if they beat Loyola at home, they're the number one seed in the tournament, in the A-10 tournament. And then, of course, they got to play to get into the NCAA.
I wonder where Jerry has the Billikens. I wonder where Jerry has the Tigers, the Illini. Somehow, the last time I looked, he still had my Hoosiers in there. I have no clue how or why. They don't look like
the football team won.
They belong in there.
You're getting the football bum.
I'll ask him about that. But I'm very excited for the Billikens. I mean, it's been a heck of a ride. So we'll talk to him about that and what he thinks going into this Loyola game. The Blues are getting closer to the trade deadline. I want to talk to you about that before the show is over as well, because there's some serious rumors flying right now about the Blues and what might happen. I don't think they're going to make all these trades that are out there, but they might make some of them. So we'll get into that as well. But first things first. Baseball season. Let's get to Matt Pauley in Jupiter.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals spring training report. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens, and making memories. And by Happy Roof. We always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX.
Fellas, I can't be with you live today as the Cardinals are matched up against the Nicaraguan World Baseball Classic team. That game's going on right now at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. That game can actually be heard over on our AM side, 11:20 a.m. If folks do want to listen in. Dusty Baker, by the way, is the manager of the WBC Nicaraguan squad. Matthew Liberatore is making the start today for the Cardinals. We expect to see him go about 4 innings, and then after he's done, Richard Fitz is going to come in as a piggyback. Cardinals have really 6 starting pitchers in competition right now for a rotation spot, and as we see Dustin May come into the rotation, he's going to pitch tomorrow. All of a sudden, innings becoming a bit of an issue, so you're going to have situations like today where instead of Fitz being a conventional starter, he's going to come in a piggyback situation and start an inning clean. I asked manager Oliver Marmol if while Fitz goes through this process of competing for a rotation spot, if it matters whether he comes in as a true starter or if he comes in as a relief pitcher in a piggyback role.
I can argue both sides of that. If he's in a piggyback and as long as he's getting ramped up and getting the innings, I think it's fine. And it still allows him to show us what he's capable of doing. So I'm not extremely concerned as to like him starting it or coming in after somebody at the moment in order for us to still evaluate whether he can start with us.
The lineup is a little bit different today for the Cardinals against this WBC team. Really, Ivan Herrera is the only player in the lineup who you would expect to for sure see on opening day, which is coming up on March 26th. No Mason Wynn in the lineup, probably wouldn't have been in there anyways, but he was scratched a couple days ago. He's dealing with some arm soreness. Doesn't sound like it's a really big deal at this point. He's likely to be back in the lineup tomorrow or the day after, but Ali did give us an update on where they're at with Wynn.
We'll get a better idea of how he's feeling today. Depending on how he's coming out of this off day, we can either push the day and get him throwing a day from now, or if not, then start that program today. But we'll get a better sense when he hits the field.
Against the Cardinals and the Nicaraguan WBC team, you can hear it over on 11:20 a.m. on the AM side. And that's going to do it for now. I'll be back with you guys live coming up tomorrow at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. Always great to hear the reports. And yeah, the Mason Wynn thing, this is something that is pretty common at this point of spring training. Pitchers feel it too. If you do the same thing over and over and over after the Super Bowl, they haven't had a day off since then. So, Chris, you're going to get some arm soreness and all that kind of stuff is going to pop up. Nothing to be worried about. The Cardinals have, as we talked about yesterday, a lineup that is intriguing. You just want to see that offense start to tick up a little bit, but the pitching sure looks pretty good.
Let me ask about this arm soreness. Do we know what part of the arm? Is it the elbow? Is it the shoulder? Is it just biceps? What are we talking about here?
It's just a general arm soreness.
General arm soreness.
Well, I don't think it's, if he said it was an elbow, it's an elbow. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, like I just said,
all right,
it's something that don't start setting alarms out there.
Hey, I'm just saying, man,
this is a spring training after you're throwing over and over and over. I mean, it's gonna happen. You hit a wall at some point in spring training. That's why that day off yesterday was well timed. So it's good. And that guy was dealing with some knee pain last year that he played through. I can't believe he played through all that. But he did, and he got the go-ahead to do it, and they allowed him to do as much as he possibly could. So I'm not.
But you can. I mean, I'm not. It's one of those. We'll pay attention to it, because anytime a team says, "Oh, his arm's sore," I don't care if it's infielder, pitcher, or whatever. It has happened a lot where they say that, don't think it's anything, then it turns into something bigger. I'm not saying that's what it is. It's just something to pay attention to.
I think because the name is Mason Wynn, it probably got your attention. I'm
definitely.
This team is not going to run interference. I don't feel that. I don't
think it's anything intentional.
Yeah,
just maybe that's the hope.
I hear you. They are going to do that. Matt wanted to thank me for bringing up the leadoff hitter again. Yeah, I know how to get Bernie going, and Bernie is very much in support of JJ Weatherholt as the leadoff hitter, and I totally agree. And last year, what I wanted to see was Mason Wynn. Can he grab it? And what we talked about yesterday is, what does he need to do to be better? And it's just, it's not there yet for Mason to get that leadoff spot. But he'll be better just overall offensively in a lot of different areas. And I don't know if he's a candidate to hit 20 bombs, but I think he can hit 15. And I think he's got some power, and he could move around in the order, which is actually a very good thing for him.
Yeah, but if you're Mason Wynn, leading off's probably not the job you're going to do, because you would have to improve your OBP by a good 40 points or so.
No, but you should make it a goal of yours.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah. If you're Mason Wynn, like, he would be a great leadoff hitter if he could get on base more.
Yeah.
And as Bernie said, he needs to walk more. His walk rate's down, although he's off to a nice little start in Grapefruit League, but Grapefruit League is what it is. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk brackets with the one and only Jerry Palm. I can't wait for this conversation. Now I want to talk about your outdoor living. Now, you're probably not sitting outside listening to us right now, unless you have a screen-in porch, a screen room. How is it? Is the screen coming apart? Is it a room that you really enjoy? Is the one that you're proud of? Or would you like one? Chesterfield Fence and Deck can do all of that for you. They're such a great company, chesterfieldfence.com. Go online, chesterfieldfence.com, and take a little look around. Even better, go to their showroom, which is in Chesterfield Valley. It's like walking through someone's neighborhood, all the different options. This guy's got a new fence. This family over here has a new sunroom. This couple just put an outdoor kitchen on their patio. I mean, it's fantastic. Check it out, chesterfieldfence.com. You're going to love Chesterfield Fence and Deck, in business since 1968. And mention me, Tom Ackerman. You will receive 48 months interest-free financing. That's a big deal on your next outdoor project. From Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for: their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. Magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Looking for a career change? Well, the Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level. Level up your future and earning potential. Take the first step at thegelmanteam.com.
100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. A century of trust in St. Louis. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Trust your friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hey, welcome back to the show. It is the Gashouse Gang on KMOX with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producer is Frank Ladd. Matt Pajeski in studio with us. And on the line is my friend, Jerry Palm. He has been for a long time, did it with CBS for a long time, come up with these projected brackets, and I just cannot wait. He does football too. But man, oh man, am I excited to talk to him because it means that Selection Sunday is right around the corner. What's up, Jerry?
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Palmbrackets.com. I'm on it all the time. I actually read your projection on KMOX yesterday morning, actually Monday, I think, when it came out, and Tuesday. But anyway, I was happy to see two things. One, that you had SLU, Mizzou, and Illinois all in there. That was really no surprise. I was a little surprised that you still had Indiana in there as a play-in, but I'll get to that later. But I think mostly that you had all those St. Louis teams in there and within driving distance. You had Illinois. Let's do that first. You had Illinois, Louisville, Iowa State, and Kentucky, among others, Jerry, in the St. Louis first and second round at Enterprise Center. Does that still hold today here on Wednesday?
Well, Illinois, yes. I just updated the bracket about an hour ago. I'm doing it daily now, if there's a change, which most days there will be. Illinois and Kentucky actually still in St. Louis could be meeting in the second round in St. Louis. They're the 2 and the 7 in that region. And then the same region has got Iowa State and Tennessee. So, and VCU, which will be familiar to St. Louis people.
Can we arrange for a SLU Mizzou game somewhere? I mean, my gosh, would that be beautiful? It's possible, right? I mean, they're close.
Well, I don't know if can St. Louis even play in St. Louis? I don't know if they can.
No, they can't.
That's kind of what
I don't think so.
No,
it'd be cool, but
they'd have to be hosting in order to be disqualified. So if they're not hosting, they could play.
No, the Missouri Valley Conference is hosting.
Well, then they could play there.
Okay.
But they'll be far enough down the bracket. They're not going to have a lot of choices. It'll just be, whatever happens to be in that part of the bracket already assigned. And Mizzou, of course, is just trying to hang on. Really, in a way, they're both trying to hang on, but SLU's in better shape. I have Mizzou as a 10 in the West, and I have let's see, where did I put St. Louis?
You have them. Well, you've got them as a 9 seed.
I do. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah, there they are in Greenville, which is where I'll be. So that would be fun. But in the same region as the St. Louis Pods, but not in the St. Louis Pod.
So you've got the Billikens 9. You have 2 teams from the A10, VCU being the other team that gets in, and you have them as one of the last 4 in.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so does that indicate to you that the Billikens are pretty much in regardless of what happens in the conference
They're running
tournament?
out of time to play their way out. Obviously, you got to beat Loyola. If you don't beat Loyola, then it really throws some doubt on things. But they beat Loyola. They're going to go to George Mason, who's a decent team. Can they lose 2 in a row and stay in the bracket? Probably, as long as they beat Loyola.
I'm looking at the bracket right now. Of course, if SLU gets by UCF, they would be playing Duke. You would assume Duke gets through the 116 matchup. You got to play the big giants if you want to get there. But I want to take you away from the bracket for just a moment and just tell me what you think of SLU and what kind of a team they present. And Josh Schertz had this kind of a team 2 years ago with Indiana State that did not make it. Is SLU one of those teams that could be hard to prepare for, do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there'll be film, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always, you get Selection Sunday shows up, you get your assignment, and then you spend, 3 days, cramming to prepare for somebody you don't really know. As opposed to like when you're in conference play, you might have 3 days for somebody even if you haven't played them this year. You have a pretty good idea what that coaching staff is like, what some of those players are, and a prep for a conference game is different than a prep for a non-conference game. But there'll be enough film on St. Louis that people can get ready. And I wanted that team at Indiana State to get in. I thought they could. I'm not surprised they didn't. They were just right on that line, and so I'm hoping those guys get a shot at it this year. And I hope they can get out of an 8-9 scenario, so they might have a shot at the second game. But you got to win the first one first.
Does that factor in at all in the decision making? And you would think that it does not, or it shouldn't. That Josh Schertz had that team and didn't, and now here they are again.
No, you're always judged on this year. The roster is the roster. They don't care about that unless you lose somebody important. Then they do care about that as a player. But no, your previous tournament luck. Bad luck, performance, what of that, nothing that happened in a previous tournament or didn't happen is relevant.
Your number 1 seeds are Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and UConn. Zero argument there. I think those are the 4 best teams. Does anyone else have a chance to be a 1?
Sure. Houston does, in part because they get a shot at Arizona in a conference tournament scenario, and Florida does. But Florida's problem is they struggled in non-conference play, but they've been absolutely dominant from early January. I think from about the time they played Mizzou in January, I want to say, and they have just been laying waste to their schedule from that point forward. And Florida's they're the defending champs. They lost to Mizzou January 3rd. Their only loss since then, oddly enough, home to Auburn. So they're really building. They could chase a number 1 seed. 6 losses is a lot, I think, for a number 1 seed right now. But probably someone like UConn would have to lose to open the door for that.
Based on the way you've got the bracket at the moment, is there a team, a lower seed that you think has a pretty favorable position that they could make a run despite the lower seed?
You mean like a 6 or something like that?
6 or even lower, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's see. The 7s have got Kentucky, which is talented but not playing to the level of their talent. if that team wakes up, and clicks all of a sudden, that's a team that can make a run. BYU has been fading a little bit. I've got them as a 6 as well, but they've got AJ Devanza, and even though they don't have Saunders anymore due to a knee injury, when you've got a guy like Devanza, you can get through a game or two where you're not getting much in the way of contribution from others. Once you get past like the 4-5s, those teams have a shot at a Sweet 16, and you'll see like North Carolina and Arkansas on that line, but all of those teams have a shot to get to a Sweet 16. And then, after that, anything can happen. But those are the teams that kind of stand out to me in like the 6-7 range, where you might have a chance to win that second game.
Missouri did not look good last night at Oklahoma, but of course you still have them in based on their 10 SEC wins. They're a 10 seed in Buffalo. This is Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com. And if they could get to the second round, Michigan State would be a tough matchup for them. That would be the matchup, but they got to get past Miami first. And I'm not talking about Miami of Ohio. This is Miami, Florida that you haven't matched up with. I want to ask you about Miami of Ohio. That's everyone's question, I think. They're 30-0. If they were to trip up between now and the MAC final, are they out or do they stay in?
Well, that's an excellent question. One I address on the front page of the site today, the write-up for the bracket, which I posted about half an hour ago. Here's the thing. Miami's resume, they have the worst strength of schedule by more than 120 spots than the next lowest one for an at-large team in the last 31 years, which is how long I've been tracking the data. So that would just eliminate you immediately, whatever your record is, as an at-large team. Those teams don't get at-large bids with that bad of a schedule. They've played one game in quad 1 or 2, Akron at home. And they could get Akron again in the tournament, and Akron is close enough to a cut line where they could be quad 1 or 2, and that'll be it for them. And if they play Akron in the tournament and they beat them, that's AQ. That'll be a championship game. So if they lose to Akron, that's their best case scenario. The only thing, and what I wrote about on the site is there's a relatively new metric called wins against bubble, or WAB. And that's the one metric that is in Miami's favor. So if Miami does need an at-large bid and they do get one, then we're going to learn that you can get in on WAB alone, because that's really all they have. A gaudy record. Metrics hate them in just about every way except that one.
How good is this Duke team compared to others? Even the one that won, was it 11 years ago? The 2015 team,
yeah.
The Cooper Flag team. How good is this one comparatively?
Well, it's hard because all of those teams are great, and this one's great too. Super talented at every position. Well coached as always, even though it's not Krzyzewski anymore, and they play well together. So. They're a threat to win the whole thing. Obviously, they may even be the favorite to win the whole thing. They're likely the number 1 overall seed, and they're playing their best basketball right now. So they're really, really good. How they stack up to these other Duke teams, we can't really answer that question until they get through the NCAA tournament. And because if they don't win a championship, then they're already going to pale to half a dozen of them.
I'm scanning this bracket, and unless I'm missing it, I don't see Indiana. So I said before you came on that you had them in on Monday, and I was like, boy, I don't know.
Yeah, last week I did. Yeah.
Of course, I'm an IU alum. I love them, but I look at them and say they don't belong in there the way that they've played.
They don't. You're right. And they're just they play hit and miss. What I've seen of them, they're number 40 in the net, which isn't bad. They beat Purdue at home, won at UCLA, but they've got 11 quad 1 losses. 11. They're 2-11. So really, they beat Purdue, which is going to have to make their season, because I don't think their season's going much farther than that. At least not in the NCAA tournament. But you never know, because still have the conference tournament ahead.
Yeah, that's true. And conference tournaments, last thing here, Jerry, conference tournaments mean bid stealers. And how does that, you always have to factor for that, don't you? We had NC State make their run and go to the Final Four where they weren't even supposed to be in there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that can happen. I don't factor them in until they become one. But obviously you watch for that. I don't know. The bid stealers are probably coming from major conferences unless we have a scenario where Miami gets beat and they take Miami of Ohio anyway. So that could be a potential bid stealer. You could see something in the Mountain West perhaps, or the West Coast Conference. But in a major conference, you're talking about somebody coming from deep because they're already going to get 8, 9, 10 teams in the 4 biggest conferences. And Big East, of course, still a major conference, but they only have 9 to begin with. And they've got 3, so maybe a bid stealer could emerge from there, perhaps Seton Hall. But yeah, it's, and then, the A-10 could be one too, because VCU is kind of hanging on, they're my last team in. And if they win that tournament, we might find out afterwards that VCU wasn't getting in if they didn't win the tournament.
We've got the Missouri Valley tournament here in St. Louis starting tomorrow. And if Belmont doesn't win it, are they out? Is that a 1-bid league this year?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard for me to see a case for Belmont. I've been hearing from their SID quite a bit about their case, and I just don't see it. He's kind of coming around, but they're 55th in the net, which isn't bad. They just don't have the kind of wins you need to get the committee's attention. They don't have the gaudy record that Miami has. They're in about the same spot of the net, but they don't have the gaudy record that Miami has. And so I don't know if that's going to be good enough. And they get 3 quad 3 losses, and then that's going to be hard to overcome.
I'll see their SID tomorrow, so I'll tell him you said hi.
Yeah. Tell him I said hi.
I will. PalmBrackets.com. Jerry, just one more time, let us know all about Palm Brackets before we let you go, because we really appreciate this. You're always great.
Yeah, so this time of year, it's pretty busy. New brackets every day if it's needed. Bubble watch, conference tournament tracking. I'll be writing every day about something or another. Today I wrote about Miami and the historic ways that their resume doesn't match up. Anyways, we'll see about that. But it's pretty busy this time of year. You can track the conference tournaments. Anything having to do with getting ready for the NCAA tournament, I'll have. And then I'm going on the road once it starts.
Well, I hope to see you somewhere in deep March, early April. That would mean that one of our teams around here made a run. Look forward to it, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
I'm going to hit you up on Selection Sunday too. So get ready for that. Jerry Palm with us, palmbrackets.com. He's the best. Yep. Tell us about, speaking of basketball, FanDuel.
That is exactly right. Big games happening now. Conference tournaments are coming up like ours here in St. Louis. Momentum swings every night, right, as we get close to the end of the regular season. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger victories with a college basketball parlay profit boost. And here's how it works. You build any college hoops parlay you like. So you take that rivalry game or the early tip or the late slate on the West Coast. Then you mix spreads, totals, props, whatever fits your read of the slate that night. Then apply your profit boost and instantly bump up that potential payout. You can get bold with it. You can go with the favorites. You can go with a team that you've been following all season long. Whatever it is you're into, FanDuel.com/Missouri. Go there to get started. FanDuel.com/Missouri. And take advantage of the college basketball parlay profit boost. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Minimum 2-leg parlay required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable boost builder tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. There are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's 54 degrees, a little rain here in St. Louis. We'll have a high of 59. Tonight could be some heavy storms, a lot of rain, potential flooding, so be on the lookout. A low that is of 55.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling.
And by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis and Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We are back. It's the Gashouse Gang on KMOX with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. We do it all here on the show. Baseball, hockey, college basketball. We've discussed things with Jerry Palm. If you want to go back, you just missed it. The bracketology from Jerry was strong, and we went through all of it. We will get to much more coming on the NHL trade deadline. But you know what else we do around here? We do soccer. St. Louis City SC.
Little footy.
Yeah. They have not a win yet, but they do have a draw and an L. And joining us is their radio analyst on Y98 FM, Academy Director. It is Dale Schilly. And it is always a pleasure, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, Tom.
Listen to that. I love these conversations with you, my man. You know what? And we used to do these in morning drive, and they were like 3 minutes. So now we get to stretch it out.
I get to take a little time with Dale. We used to take all of his time on the Chris and Amy show.
Dale, analyze the game against San Diego, if you would. A 2-0 loss coming off that 1-1 draw against Charlotte. What did you see against San Diego?
Yeah, I think Johan said it best in the post-game conference where he said, we're just not there yet. San Diego's a little further along in terms of their personnel and the organization of their team. They've had more games under their belt and beating Pumas and knocking them out of the Champions Cup, is a big accomplishment. They're just further along. And, I think just in terms of the way they played and their understanding collectively as a group and their ball movement and their chance creation, they outperformed us. Having said that, at 1-0, we're losing, and Miggy Perez gets to the end line and pulls the ball back for Betcher from 2 yards out, who just, in a really tough, tight situation, couldn't redirect the ball on target. You score the goal, and the game changes completely. But nonetheless, I thought San Diego was good. I thought our guys battled, but, the soccer piece is going to get better, and they just need more time.
So we've got a team that is a little different. Roster, it's a little different than last year. New coach. It's only been a couple of games. How long does it really take, do you think, that you give this team time to work with a new coach and, you have some actual gameplay and you have some actual results, but when do you think you'd feel comfortable knowing who City SC really is this year?
I would say, Chris, you have to look at who we were missing. When you're missing Adu and you're missing Hartle and you're missing Falou Fall and you're missing Mbake Fall, not related, and you're missing Sergio up front, who's, coming in as well. Those are 5 guys, and Toyshirt, who was good at the end of the game. He's trying to round himself into fitness. I think we're a couple weeks away from, getting everybody on board, getting them into the team, getting them up to fitness levels and that sort of thing. And unfortunately, we've got a tough road ahead of us with Seattle this weekend, LAFC around the corner. We have some difficult games. So I think we're a few weeks away from being able to tell exactly what we have. I'm really excited about the changes that are coming in and what they offer to a team that right now is competing, even if we're a little bit shorthanded. I'm looking forward to what we see here over the next month.
Tell me about Sergio Cordova, who City was able to pick up recently.
Yeah, he's active. He's athletic. He can score goals. He's scored goals at nearly, all the levels that he's been at. He's a guy that's going to be good on the ball in a completely different profile than what Simon Betcher is. Simon's a box center forward. Sergio can score as well, but he's going to be on the ball in other parts of the field and add a little Latin flair to an attack that can use some additional creativity. So I think it'll be good.
And as you mentioned, game coming up this weekend after the one against San Diego, and you were talking about them as being maybe a little more advanced at this point, but you've got Seattle coming into town. What about this one? This is Saturday night.
Yeah, Seattle's always good. Every year they find themselves in the conference semifinal, conference championship. But if you look at recent history, they've struggled a little bit early in the year and then, catch their stride at some point over the summer and then start rolling into the playoffs. They lost the other night to RSL in Salt Lake. Watch the game. They're good. They got good players. But I think it's somebody we can compete with. This will be another good test for the guys. Seattle right now is not at the same level as San Diego, but still, a very good team and a great history.
Dale, give me a read on City 2, in particular David Critchley, who's their coach, because as we know, he was thought to be very much in the running to be the head coach at City. He took over on an interim basis, did not get the job. They gave it to DeMay. How is he doing, and how is City 2 looking?
Yeah, City 2 won their first game 4-0 against Sporting Kansas City. Critch is doing a good job. Just finished training here in the rain, taking a more developmental approach this year. We have younger players. I think we had 4 academy kids started. The first goal was scored from one of our U18 academy players, Evan Carlock. Lucas McPartland, the goalkeeper, is an academy player as well, who got the shutout. So it's a younger group than we've had in the past, a very talented group. And Critch is doing a great job with them. And looking forward, I think this weekend on Sunday, they play Minnesota United at home. So can be an opportunity for people to get a glimpse as to what some of the younger players look like.
You've probably got a lot of people who are listening and, maybe have been to a City game and they've heard of City 2 and they think, well, what is City 2? What exactly does that mean? Is that just a feeder team? Well, explain City 2 to people.
Yeah. So first, before I get to there, I forgot one player of note. Owen Jorgensen started in the game the other day, who's a 15-year-old. He's believe it, you're gonna shake when I say this, but he was born in 2010. And
that's enough.
So you're my daughter. My youngest daughter was born.
That's enough.
So he started, got injured later on, but he started in the game the other day, and Eddie Niles came on, who's the same age. He finished the game with 15 or 20 minutes there at the end of the game. So it's a mix of players that are guys trying to make it into the first team, guys that are coming from college environments that they've finished their college eligibility, and this is their next step as they try to break into the first team. Academy guys that we think have high potential and have an opportunity to maybe earn and homegrown. Maybe it's just their next step before they go off to college. Maybe they'll end up signing a 2-team contract and then eventually earning their way into the first team. But when you look at guys that are listed on the first team now, you have Miggy Perez spent the year last year in the 2-team. Mekhi Joyner has spent the last 2 years in the 2-team. Tyson Pierce has done the same. So we've got guys that are, knocking on the door or getting time in the first team that have gone through the MLS Next Pro environment, and playing with City 2 has been a good step for them to get to the first team.
Dale Schilly with us on the Gashouse Gang every Wednesday at 12:30. Have a great rest of your day. Keep everybody in that booth in line. All right, I'm counting on you.
I will.
Oh, so he means Joey.
In line.
Yeah, he means Joey. When he says everybody, he's talking about.
I mean everybody, including me when I walk in there. Dale's the stable presence in that booth. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right,
thanks very much. It's great talking soccer with him. I love that stadium and that whole experience over there in downtown West. They're our neighbor, just multiple blocks to the west of us here at KMOX.
And you know what? How about those Tina Turner kits?
Oh, it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
I like them.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yep. Pretty good. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk some hockey coming up next, and also get the latest on what's happening with the Cardinals. We'll get you an update on that exhibition game against Nicaragua, which if you want to flip over to 11:20 a.m., I got a little magic trick for you. Baseball will appear. But on 104.1 FM, we're talking all sports right here, including the NHL trade deadline. We're coming up on 48 hours away, and there are all kinds of rumors swirling about the Blues involving many of their biggest names. Back after this.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
Will be on site with the newest boats, personal watercraft, docks, and accessories. Step aboard, compare models, and find the perfect ride for your family. Special show pricing and experts ready to help make your boating dreams a reality. Visit LakeOfTheOzarksBoatDealers.com for more information.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Make your reservations now for the 2026 Women of Achievement Award Luncheon, presented by KMOX. The award luncheon takes place Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis, and celebrates 10 outstanding volunteers from across the St. Louis metropolitan region. Doors open at 11:15, and the luncheon runs until 1:30 p.m. Reservations are just $60 per person. Sign up and find more details now at KMOX.com/events.
The 46th Builders St. Louis Home and Garden Show returns to America's Center March 6th through 8th.
Bring the whole family to watch the adrenaline-pumping off-axis stunt show and the canines in the clouds frisbee dogs.
Details at stlhomeshow.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock, masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take to the court against Loyola. Pregame 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball, KMOX.
The Blues play tonight. They are in Seattle for a 9 o'clock faceoff, taking on the Kraken. As the Blues are out of playoff contention, that doesn't mean they are out of the eyes of the United States and Canada, because I'm here to tell you, people are buzzing about the St. Louis Blues and the trade deadline. There's a lot going on right now. The trade deadline is 2 o'clock on Friday. Darren Dreger is somebody that I follow pretty closely. He's the TSN hockey insider, and he tweeted, I actually read this on the air this morning in one of my sportscasts. He tweeted earlier this morning that it was believed that the Blues and the Sabres went the distance on Robert Thomas trade talks, meaning they went as far as they could discussing trading the center, the very talented forward, 26 years old, elite, I would say, to Buffalo. But he says, sounds like the Sabres aren't willing to part with the necessary pieces, prospects, a player, a first-round pick, etc. He said, still teams nibbling, but the Blues are firm in what the return needs to be for the young center. Chris, the Blues are expecting a haul for Robert Thomas, and I don't blame him. He's in the prime of his career, and if they're going to move him, they want something big.
And I absolutely don't blame them. He's relatively inexpensive. The cap hits, just a little over $8 million. They have him under control for another 5 years. So they're not under pressure to have to make a deal here. So get everything that you can possibly get for him, because if they need to, he's still going to have value beyond this season, right? Unless there's some sort of injury, but you can't worry about that. You get the most you can absolutely get. And if you're not happy with the return, then don't do anything about it. Now, this doesn't mean they're not going to make a deal or that a deal can't happen. It just dramatically hurts the chances that a deal is going to happen with Buffalo. But it may not be the only team either.
Yeah, and these players like Jordan Binnington have no trade clauses in their contracts, so they also play a part in all of this. So you have to find a partner that they're willing to go to also. Now, speaking of Binnington, why would you trade Binnington? Well, because he's Jordan Binnington, and he has proven that in the biggest of games, he plays at his very best. So there are a lot of teams that would love to have him as part of their playoff push or run to a Stanley Cup. And it's been 7 years since the Blues won a Stanley Cup, believe it or not. That's a long time ago. He's going to be 33 this summer. Joel Hofer's only 25. So that's a big difference, and you can build around somebody like Hofer and trade Binnington. It's not a foregone conclusion, though. And here's the other thing about Thomas and Binnington, and I'll get to some of the others here in a second, is that you don't have to trade them now. You can wait until this summer and trade those players too. So it's not, you can hold on to those two players and say, we'll just wait until we get the haul that we really want. And maybe that ups the ante here. And a lot of times the Blues will put this out there. And also they just want to see what the offers are back. It doesn't mean that they're going to trade all these players that are being talked about. NHL rumors are running wild right now. The others, Chris, would be Jordan Kyrou. His name has been tossed around in some speculation out there. Whether Thomas and Kyrou would both go, I don't know. If they would do one or the other or neither, but Kyrou seems like somebody that would be attractive. He can score some goals for you. He's not Robert Thomas, but he's really good. He's got all kinds of skill.
And I wonder if he could benefit from being somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs a kick in the pants.
He's a year older than Robert. He's 27 years old. And then there are the two defensemen. I think Justin Falk still is the natural for me. It's a $6.5 million cap hit through next year. So it's not a monster hit for somebody to take him on. You're not going to have to pay a ton for him, but the Blues could get a nice return for that reason. And the fact that, he can score. I mean, he's been scoring at a pretty good clip this year. He's a veteran guy, seems to be very healthy. The other one that keeps popping up is Colton Parayko. So I wonder if the Blues still think they've got a lot more in Parayko that they could get for the next few years of his deal and deal Falk instead. But those are the five right now that are out there. I think the most: Thomas, Kyrou, Parayko, Falk, Bennington.
Be real interesting to see what happens again. 2:00 on Friday. That is the deadline, and we'll have you covered here. If anything does break, if it's tomorrow, if it is Friday, we'll be here for you.
Absolutely. I think Friday, and I'll be at Arch Madness, so I won't be able to be part of this, but I'll be paying attention to what you guys are doing, because you really will be basically at the KMOX trade desk. I mean, you'll be on top, because deals are probably going to happen during the Gashouse.
It's very possible. I mean, this show ends at 1:00. Deadline's an hour later, so we could hear of something before this show is over. By the way, Billikens tonight.
Yes.
Last home game of the season. They are not going to play in St. Louis for the rest of this season. Well, unless something really works out and they make it to the tournament. I don't think they'll end up here at Enterprise. There are 5 total tickets left on the primary market.
5?
There are 2 together in one section, and then there are 3 individual tickets. That's it. I'm sure
awesome.
Secondary market, you can go find something, but it'll be a sellout.
You get a chance to say goodbye to Robbie Avila, who will be playing his final home game.
Senior night.
What a run he had with Josh Schertz. And hopefully they have another month of basketball in them, because, boy, would that be fun. For Chris Raji, I'm Tom Ackerman. Thanks to Matt Pajeski. Thanks to Frank Ladd. And our guests today, Jerry Palm, Matt Pauley, and Dale Schilly. This is the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.